good.
Yo, check this out. I went analog with my notes.
Nice. I went digital.
All right. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Tearing Out Recordings. I'm Nick. That's Sean.
I'm Sean. I can introduce myself. I have agency.
So today we're going to be taking a look at Phoebe Bridgers' album Punisher. We're going to be going through all the songs and just talking about cool things that we heard in them and things that we liked about them. We're Tearing Out Recordings. We're a recording company. We produce music. We record music from home, and we help you finish your songs and get them on streaming platforms. If you're a songwriter and you're interested in working with us, check us out at tearingoutrecordings.com. We're also on the Instagram, but yeah.
The Instant. You may have heard of it. It's called the Instantgram. Wait, you can say that again.
No, wait, what were you saying?
Oh, I said, and we'll add instruments to your songs and demos.
But anyway, back to the thing. We also purchased this album, so I recommend going on Bandcamp and buying the album and supporting the artist. Anything to add to that, Sean?
Yes, no, purchasing music from the artists you love is very important.
All right, let's go. Let's hit it. So, This is Punisher. So the first song is DVD Menu. What did you think about the song?
I thought it was a perfect starting point because it kind of foreshadows the last song in a way. Like as far as like instrumentation goes and like melody content.
Well, yeah.
Because it's like you could play DVD Menu over I Know the End. I know that.
Dang, I had a really good point that that you just spoiled for the end, but
Oh, shit.
I like realized something while listening to it today that I was like, oh, this is so sick! I can't wait to point this out.
No, because I was we thought of
yeah, good start.
Yeah.
I really liked how like it almost sounded like the tone was rolled off. Like if like the recording was a guitar, the tone was all the way off, and then just slowly throughout the song, it was just like rolling it back on.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
it kind of like blossoms.
Yeah, it was really cool. I also like the strings plus like the guitar bass kind of thing. Like throughout, I mean, you hear that throughout the album, but especially here, there's like this combination of like guitars and basses and orchestral instruments, and then like ambient noise.
Yes. Yeah.
Which was a guy. Let me actually look up who that is so I can like accurately cite this guy.
Oh, like the guy who sings like the lower voice?
No, there was a guy who did all the ambient noises and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ethan Gruska, who did sound design, programming, synthesizers, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, mellotron, piano, pocket piano, vocoder, fader performance, tenor bass, sub bass, bass, optigan flutes, sampling, and pump organ.
Wow. So that was a mellotron.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he did a lot. The mellotron was specifically on tracks 3, 9, and 11, which were...
There's one definitely on Moonsong.
So it was on Kyoto, on ICU, and there was I Know the End.
Oh, okay.
But not on Moonsong.
Oh, maybe it was something else on Moonsong. Maybe it was like an actual flute.
It could have been someone... Oh, wait, no, actually... No, you're right. Tony Berg played mellotron, though.
Oh, okay.
So it was still the mellotron, but not a different mellotronist.
Cool.
Cool. Let's go to Garden Song. So this is song number 2, Garden Song.
I have everything I wanted.
So that one also, like, I felt lacked, like, a high end, which I thought was really cool, because then Phoebe's voice was just so, like, high. It just, like, made it especially more present.
Yeah. Yeah, and it provided it was like this like cool like sort of rolling undercurrent that kind of like stayed the same throughout the entire song.
Yeah.
But it was actually kind of cool because it allowed the vocals to cut through more.
Yeah.
And kind of like float over the current that was being like
Yeah, and you know,
pulsated.
throughout this whole album, it was just, like, slowly developing stuff.
Yes.
Like, if you listen, if you, like, skip from one verse to the next verse on any of the songs, it just sounds completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, sometimes really subtle, but sometimes it's really, like, oh, here we have a fucking band.
Right, yeah.
Oh, are we cursing in this?
Yeah. Do you have to wait, are you
should
putting
I-
this on children's YouTube?
I'll censor it out. I'll do the bleeps.
I think too it's like it sort of highlights like a common theme in this album, which is like development through minimal instrumentation.
Yeah.
So it's like there's not really many like sort of individual voices, but there's still like a lot going on.
Yeah, but actually there is a lot of instruments. but it's never all at once, except like during some specific moments where it's like super
Right.
intense.
Especially at the end.
Yeah, but it's also like a lot of instruments spaced out properly throughout the whole thing. And
Right.
she fit like many horns, many strings, a lot of background vocals. If you look at the credits, there's like I think like 6 vocalists on it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, other than Phoebe. But yeah, I feel like it's a really good exercise in orchestration.
And pace.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and another comment that I had was that there's no drums, but it's still driving.
Yeah.
Like and like yeah, the guitar lines were all like just kind of really like steady and pushing.
Mm-hmm. Like the
And then
kinda
also,
just, like-
yeah, the lyrics too were like, I mean, she does this in all her songs basically, but like it's like a friend telling you a story.
Mm-hmm.
You know? The lyric that I liked was the doctor put her hands over my liver. She told me my resentment's getting smaller.
Yeah. Apparently that really happened to her.
Oh yeah.
Like her doctor actually said that, and it wasn't like as like poetic as it, the lyric made it seem.
No, but
it's very poetic still.
But I thought it was really cool regardless because like one, she could have rhymed. She could have said liver and then her resentment's getting sliver.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't. She just said 2 sentences that don't rhyme, which is great. Like she wasn't
Plays
like
with the expectation.
yeah, and it was just like a friend telling you a story kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, killing.
Very,
And then the last chord, she ended on a 4 chord. She ended on like so the song's in the key of C, but she ends in the F chord,
oh yeah.
and it's just like ends.
Dude, yeah, that's another common theme throughout the album too, like not resolving to
Yeah,
one.
it's great.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And it kind of like keeps this like forward momentum of the album. It never feels like it's like, okay, like we've ended. It's great.
Yeah, because it just prepares the next song. Actually, I didn't even think about that. What key is the next song? And Kyoto's in B, and so it's on F.
That's pretty cool.
It goes to tritone. It's not like a super strong resolution.
No, not at all. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Oh, but I think she does start on like the 5 or something, or. Oh, on the 4, which is F sharp. No, no.
E.
No, it is the 5 because I forgot. I think it ends on F sharp. Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Kyoto. So this is the 3rd song on the album, and I thought I remember the first time I heard this, I was like, I don't know if I like this album anymore. Because it was like a total vibe change, but
Yeah.
now I listen to that and I'm like, ooh!
Yeah, no, that song's great. It's
It's one of my favorite on the album now, but when I first heard it, I was like, what's happening? What is this?
a total change, and it's like kind of the first one with like a clear cut groove.
And it's the first one with drums on it too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a cool blend of like rock band with like horns and strings and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And all of the like instruments, there's always like a melody going. Like you have the horns going ba ba da ba da da, and like all even on the second verse, there's also like a really cool guitar counterline there too.
Birthday, we're off by like 10 days, but you get a few points for trying. Remember getting me drunk.
Yeah.
And like throughout all of it, there's just like constant melodies, like really nice melodies.
It's like always present.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the lyrics too. It's like kind of part like dealing with imposter syndrome, part like thinking you know what you want until you actually have it. Like the lyric, I wanted to see the world, then I flew over the ocean, and then I changed my mind. Like kind of, I guess like she probably thought that she wanted to tour a lot.
Yeah, right.
But until she actually started touring and saw it.
Or like, I'm going to kill you if you don't beat me to it.
Yeah.
You know. But it's also like there's like hearing the verses like when she's talking about go to the arcade and stuff like that. I just have all these like images in my head. You know, like she does a really good job of conjuring like these images.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her lyrics are very much like Joni Mitchell
Yeah.
in that way, where it's kind of like she'll start like in the middle of a story.
Right.
Like Kyoto, like it just starts like there's no prologue to it.
Yeah, like you don't know where she's from. She's just day off in Kyoto.
Right, yeah,
So
she's right in the middle of the
So
story.
you're like, oh well, I have some baseline information. Like, she's not from Kyoto, unless she is from Kyoto and she's talking about a mundane day off. But
it just starts like right in the center.
it's
of the
like
story.
mystery right At the beginning.
Yeah.
Killing. I also like the Copycat Killer. I mean, that's not on this album, but the Copycat Killer version also has some really cool chords that I really dig. Also, Rob Moose, who's playing all the string parts throughout all this.
Oh, he played all the string parts on this too?
All this,
wow.
the whole album.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So he did all the arrangements and he did all the string parts too.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
That guy's profound. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Let's move on to Punisher, which is the title of the album.
I love a good place to hide in plain sight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the song's about Elliot Smith.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I think you're also right because you've told me that, and I just accepted it as right.
I don't know. I there are a lot of lyrics that make me think that.
Yeah, I can see that. I really like the lyric. The only real reason I moved to the east side, I love a good place to hide in plain sight. Which, when you read it like that, I don't think she meant it like that. Well, I don't know. Well, that's another cool aspect of it is the lyric before that is like, the drugstores are open all night. The only real reason I moved to the east side. So you don't really know if that lyric is talking about the previous sentence or the next sentence. Mm-hmm. So like the drugstores are open all night. The only real reason I moved to the east side, or the only real reason I moved to the east side. I love a good place to hide in plain sight.
Right.
Which I think
it
could be both. Yeah, and I think if she's talking about New York, that's definitely like both sentences definitely work. I think.
Oh yeah, I think she's talking about LA though.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I feel like Upper East Side, that's a good place to hide. You got the park.
Anyway,
oh yeah.
Yeah. The I just noticed this too when listening to it yesterday. The vocal formant in the background vocals in the first part is really cool. And I never noticed it before. It adds like a really sort of deep dimension.
Yeah,
to it, I feel like
it's kind of like that Bon Iver thing that he does with the vocal synth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and also just the effect on the vocal. I noticed this today when I was re-listening to it. But like throughout the whole song, there's like the vocal is constantly changing.
Yeah.
Like going into the pre-chorus, I think there's like the reverb changes, like the type of reverb that's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Hide in plain sight.
And then like the vocal textures and then the vocal synth things. And then on the chorus, it's just double clean vocals.
Yes.
What if I told you?
Yeah, because like from the verses, especially on that lyric in plain sight has no reverb on it whatsoever. It's just totally dry. And then it goes into like the chorus vocals, which are totally dry.
Yeah.
And she does that twice, which I think is really cool. In plain sight and the word stop.
Wouldn't know when to stop.
Oh yeah, well that's another cool thing is that they say stop and then the song just ends.
Yes.
And then you have like this like little pulsing thing, which I noticed today, but other than that, like the material in the song ends. That's also another place where it doesn't resolve either. Mm-hmm. It's just like stop. And it's just kind of like this super dramatic thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know from like just like listening to interviews that she's like very conscious of that. Like in Scott Street.
Yeah.
Like with that lyric, like I asked you how I was playing drums and then the drums come in. Yeah, so I feel like that's like definitely like a common theme in her music. Like she's very mindful of where she puts certain instruments depending on like in conjunction with like what lyrics are being said. Which I think is really cool and thoughtful. And
I feel like that's kind of like a cheesy thing, but I love it so much. Like it works.
Yeah, and I feel like she does it in a non-cheesy way because it's still like subtle. It's not like overly like, oh, okay, like that's like tongue-in-cheek, like really funny. It's like it's done in like a subtle way that makes it like pretty hip.
But I also think it's done in a very overt way too. Like for example with Stop, it's like the whole song stops, you know. And she goes like all the way with it too. It's not just like the band stops and then she keeps going, or like something like one element stops, but it's like a complete halt.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing. Like if it didn't have that little ambient thing afterwards,
right?
I think it would be really cheesy. Like if it just like hard cut off, like you get sucked out of the atmosphere. Like it's like, oh okay, like you said stop and everything stopped, but like no, there's still like that remnant of like, the song in there. That I think that like that makes it not, for me at least, that makes it like,
I think that's also kind of like
super cool,
like an ode to boomers who love their analog technology and where like hard stops are really hard. So it's like something very organic. Not that analog technology is bad. I like analog technology.
Yeah, thanks for that, boomers.
Oh yeah, and also the instrumentation on this is killing. It's like piano with strings with vocals, and then effects and like affected vocals.
Yeah.
You know, she really creates like these really cool ensembles that like when you're listening. Well, I don't know. I think the first time I listened, I was like, "What is happening with the instruments?" But like, you wouldn't be prepared to see this ensemble in a concert. Like if you pick one song off of Punisher, or if you picture Punisher, if they would like play it live, like that would be like intense lineup changes.
Oh yeah.
Every song.
Yeah.
And it's all like not the most typical stuff, I feel. It's like it's not like, oh, this is string quartet time. Oh, this is band time. It's like all this like weave of like plaid.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very much that. It's not like, yeah, like you said, it's not its own separate thing.
It's also a really like driving song for like something like kind of low key.
Yeah, it also like that's like a good example of how you could sort of build like a really lush sounding atmosphere, but like not with like not many individual voices.
Right. Yeah. Good song. Okay, cool. Now let's go to Halloween song number 5.
Baby, it's Halloween.
Yes.
What instrument was the first instrument?
It was like this like really like baritone guitar sounding.
It sounded like baritone guitar.
Yeah.
Or like a bass and guitar, or some kind of combination.
The way it
of
was
the two.
panned too was really cool.
Yeah. But also, it sounded like pit strings. And at first I was like, yeah, this is definitely guitar and bass.
Yeah.
But then I started listening to it, and I was like, does this sound like pizzicato strings? And then I was like, then I couldn't tell. You know, it was like that thing, like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And I just like wasn't sure, which I think is cool, because then like it's thought-provoking music in that sort of way, where it's like, oh, what is happening here? It's like a puzzle, like a Rubik's Cube almost.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I never even yeah, that could have totally been a cello.
And then there was that like muted trumpet, which was really cool.
Yes.
Which fits over that like pit strings, you know. I don't think it was pit strings, but like the more I listen to it and question it, the more I don't know.
Could have been a blend.
Yeah.
Of all those. of like pits, like low cello pits.
Yeah.
And violin plus like baritone guitar. Yeah, I like what were you gonna say?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, I like the so the second verse is slightly shorter than the first verse, I noticed. And I think the lyrical content informs that, because she talks about how the fan who was beaten to death.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like ending it at that verse and then going into the chorus made like that lyric so much more impactful than if like she had added more lyrical content after that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
They killed a fan down by the stadium. Was only visiting, they beat him to death.
Yeah, and then like the subtle like drum blend with like the low guitar, like the really like lo-fi kind of like sounding toms
with the mallets.
Yeah, with the mallets, with the like that sort of driving like baritone guitar was like really
Dude,
cool.
honestly, there was one song I wrote this, but I mean, for the whole thing, the drums sounded kind of lo-fi, except like Kyoto. But like, there's one song we'll get to in particular that I was like, this sounds like an iPhone with a snare mic and a kick mic.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like this lo-fi thing, but then the kick and snare are just like super driving. And then this one had mallets on it, and I actually wrote down on my notes another song with no drums, and so far the only song with drums was Kyoto, but then the drums came in at the end. So like midway through the song, she adverted my expectations. Subverted. Subverted? Yeah.
Always subverting expectations. That's what makes it exciting, huh? To like listen to it like in its whole too. Because it's not.
You're just like, what is happening? And like, like every time you can't tune out, because then you tune out and everything's completely different. Like there was a few points where I like stopped paying attention, or I checked my phone and I was like, I have to go back.
Right. It's like so much more new stuff was like, introduced, and I just missed it.
Oh yeah, and then towards the end, I forgot. I think it was in the last chorus or something, but there's another voice added.
Yeah.
Who was I forgot who it was. I looked it up, but
Be whatever you want. Whatever. I'll be whatever you want.
You
Conor Oberst.
Or Conor Oberst. No, they're in that band Better Oblivion Community Center.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere, and like towards the end of the song, oh, we got a new voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of nowhere, you know. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, he's in Bright Eyes too.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think you told me about all of this. Yeah.
And like I like how it gets like slightly discordant at the end. Like
Oh,
the guitar
yeah.
gets like a little more out.
Yeah,
and it kind
yeah.
of just ends.
Well, I wrote eerie whooshing on fade out.
Yeah.
Because there's this like kind of like grinding thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just comes at the end when everything's fading.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then like the guitar adds like, so it's like it sounds like it's like the same chord portion. It's just like an added note on top that makes it kind of like,
Right.
a little,
Yeah.
like,
Which is a kind of nod to subtlety. It's like one note changes everything.
mm-hmm.
Just like that one addition is like, ugh.
Yeah.
What's happening now?
Yeah, it's just like such a world shifting thing.
Yeah.
Very
Cool. Chinese satellite. So this one I thought was a cool change of pace, and like the baritone guitar is like super driving, and
Yeah.
like in this song is like I had the thought that like the baritone guitar and her voice just work so well together, because like and just in terms of registers, but like in how full everything sounds, that I don't know how many people that would sound that great with, but like with Phoebe especially, it's like the baritone guitar and her voice, they just like fit perfectly. Not to say that regular guitar also doesn't fit, because I think it does. Yeah, that separation is so nice, and it makes everything sound full. Like, and there was one masterclass we were at where I think it was Patricia Brennan who talked about Vijay Iyer and was saying you can get so much out of just two notes on the piano if they're super far away.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the same thing, to relate Vijay Iyer to Phoebe Bridgers, but
They said it couldn't be done.
yeah, but you know she totally does that.
Yeah.
Like they both have that sentiment, I think. Oh, and then the reverse vocals that are coming out.
And the speech fragments too.
Yeah.
Like I would not have heard that if I didn't listen on headphones.
Yeah.
Drowning out the morning birds.
That was a super cool touch.
Yeah, there's all these little subtleties, but the reverse vocals that like with reverb on them, it like doesn't get in the way at all, but it just like augments everything.
Yeah, and then they like line up at some point. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like
I think when they get to the chorus, right?
yeah,
Or that like pre-chorus thing. I don't know how to label it actually. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I guess
Because there's that like string quartet thing. And I was
Right,
like, that is a chorus? I think that is a chorus, because eventually the band does play that at the end. But then the pre-chorus is like, I'm just going to like play the clip, so I'm not going to sing this.
Took a tour to see the stars, but they weren't out tonight. So I wished hard on a Chinese satellite.
Well, she does say the lyric in that line.
Yeah, because that's when the drums come in the pre-chorus. Because like
Yeah.
that lyric like you were screaming at the eve and
Oh, but I think that was the verse. That's like after
the
the,
verse.
because that's right after the first chorus.
Oh yeah, right.
It's like the part that I wish hard on a Chinese satellite. I boom, and then you have the string quartet there,
Right.
which is a chorus. So I guess that, yeah, I don't know.
I want to believe. Instead, I look at the sky and I feel nothing. You know I hate to be alone.
Want to believe.
But that's also kind of another cool element, is like not knowing what's the chorus and what's the pre-chorus.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I feel like with such like a diverse instrumentation that she has on this album, it's like that's like a sort of straying away from like the typical like verse, pre-chorus, chorus.
Yeah, she
type
plays a
song
lot with
structure.
form.
It's really cool, yeah.
And like, but she does it in a way that like it's not super crazy, because it's not through composed at all.
No.
But it almost feels that way by the way everything develops. But it's like having that like through composed energy throughout this like very composed form.
Mm-hmm.
That's like non-linear or not super linear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like working within the boundaries of having like a set form.
Yeah.
But,
And then like stretching it, but not abandoning it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because it never like sounds repetitive.
No,
at all.
never.
Even though it's like the same section, it's like
But even there's a lot of change.
Yeah.
No matter what's happening, there's always forward momentum. You know, it's almost like a big band chart.
yeah,
You know?
in a way.
You know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the drums, especially on this one, never really sound too upfront.
Oh yeah, I wrote in my notes that like the drums sound like kind of lo-fi.
Yeah, like
Which-
like pretty much throughout the album.
Yeah.
On ICU they're like a little more clear.
But I think that has to do also with Phoebe, like the thing with the baritone guitar and Phoebe's voice that I said, like that, but in terms of frequency range. I think I saw someone on the internet. I think it was the dude from like Musformation said that was Phoebe's trick because everything is like super not high endy, and then Phoebe's like really high endy, and then it's just like.
Right. It just like sits on. They just like sit on top
Yeah.
of each other so well.
Yeah, but the drums never get in the. But I also think like the drums can afford not to be overly present because everything else is so driving.
Right. Yeah.
Everything
No.
else
Yeah.
is so like in the pocket.
That's a great point. Yeah. It's like drums are like supplement to that.
Yeah.
Instead of like the instruments being supplement.
Yeah, the
to
drums are like the accents.
Yeah.
The drums are like emphasizing what the guitar is playing.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's a great point.
And another, I mean, man, like to go back to string quartet with vocals, like on the chorus. Woo! It's like super unexpected, but it almost sounded like the Beatles. You know, it's almost sounded like Eleanor Rigby for a moment.
Yeah.
You know?
But dude, like, yeah, I definitely, especially on her other albums too. Like, what's like the last song on Stranger in the Alps? Oh no, on Scott Street actually. They have like this very like it's almost like day in the life type thing where it's like. It sounds like there's like a crowd in the studio and they're all just like playing like random instruments.
Oh, yeah.
Like bells and whistles and stuff.
I feel like definitely a lot of the production elements were kind of inspired by the Beatles, but like because they kind of just had to be because the Beatles were the first people to do that.
Yeah. And I think she said that in an interview once where it was like her producer at the time for Stranger in the Alps was like a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there's a lot of production gold like in those records too. But these songs developed so well, especially this one. Like,
oh yeah.
because I mean, you have the chorus with a string quartet, and then you have the chorus with the band, plus all the other elements too. It's like just like relentless development. All right, Moon Song.
We hate tears in heaven, but it's sad that his baby died.
So my favorite lyric in this was, "We hate tears in heaven, but it's sad that his baby died." Because that's such like a you have to know to understand, but like you can kind of feel that lyric even if you don't understand.
Yeah.
And for those who don't understand, she's talking about Eric Clapton. Tears in Heaven is an Eric Clapton song about his son that died.
Yeah. He fell out a window.
Yeah. But like I felt like that lyric was so cool because it was inviting to everyone, but it's still like a little inside thing.
Yeah. It wasn't like a direct jab at Clapton, like, because if you don't know the context,
Right.
it's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
because she could have just been like, yo, fuck you, Clapton. Like, you suck. But no, she did it in a very.
And then the next lyric was like, "We fought about John Lennon until I cried." The lyrics in this and all of them.
Yeah.
We fought about John Lennon until I cried.
And then yeah, this was also an obligatory like cool song in 3 that like every album kind of needs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Savory Complex is also in 3.
Yeah, actually, one of my points for Savior Complex, the next song, was that it was kind of bold to put 2 songs in 3 back to back like that.
Yeah.
But they're different enough that it works. Yeah, it's completely different 3 vibe. But also, actually, they're still kind of related because you have that like, wait, how does Moonsong start? It's like cool instruments, right? It's gonna be. I want that to be in my tombstone. It's got cool instruments, right? Oh, you know, this song reminds me of "This Is Us."
I don't
Like the theme music of "This Is Us."
Oh, okay.
Like,
I don't think I've seen that show enough.
but like no, but I mean, because it's like kind of like touch of sadness, emotional, with also being loving, but like very sensitive too. I feel like all of those things describe the show, but also describe this song, if that means anything.
That's beautiful.
Anyway, what I was saying is that this is the one that it sounds like the iPhone. They basically put on the iPhone as an overhead and then used the kick like the snare mic.
Yeah.
Because like when the drums do come in, you hear like the and then the of the snare like super present.
Yeah, and I think that allows for like all of the subtle ambient sort of electronic stuff
Yeah.
to like creep through and like develop
Yeah.
more in a much more subtle way, because I feel like if the drums were like higher fidelity sounding,
Right.
like it would definitely like be like, okay, like this is about the drums.
Yeah.
But
no,
it's not.
yeah, the drums are never the focal point, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like they still emphasize a song and they still enhance the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the whole thing about Ringo that like everyone's like, oh, Ringo's a bad drummer, but no, he just played the song.
Yeah, and that would
He just let the song happen, you know.
yeah, and that's what makes him a great drummer.
Yeah. And then you have all the vocals at the end that make it start to sound like super large.
Yeah, especially the higher background
Yeah.
vocals. Oof. Yeah, that was a great touch.
Yeah. Cool. Savior Complex, number 8.
Show me yours, and I'll show you mine.
Yo, yeah, this is like my favorite song. on this
Yeah, I
album.
think this is my favorite song on the album too. No, actually, This Is the End is my favorite song. But yeah, this song's got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And like I noticed that this is like a really good example of what a modern chamber ensemble might be.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like still a very small ensemble, but it's like a cool mix of like guitars, strings. Like there's like a Glock in here or something like
Yeah.
that. at the beginning.
First use of upright bass too,
Yeah, upper bass too. Yeah.
which is really cool.
And then you also like it starts as a like with like just the instrumental thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that instrumental breaks, dude.
Yeah, and then the key change too.
Show me yours, and I'll show you mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's actually like not that much of a key change. I was like looking at it, but it's kind of cool. So it goes to G, which is the song's in E major, but it goes to G major.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the relative major of E minor.
Yeah.
So it's like borrowing from something pretty close by.
Oh yeah, like
Which
the
is kind of
parallel.
cool.
Yeah.
And then it's not even like a key change where they like how they would normally do it in like a rock song,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh, now we're in this key, like here, there, and everywhere. It pivots. It's actually the same relationship.
Mm.
Like that goes from G to B flat, and this goes from E to G.
Oh, so
it's still-
yeah, it's the same.
It's
Like,
still a minor third, but
Right.
in here, there, everywhere, the chorus goes 1 6 2 5 in B flat.
Mhm.
So they like dive in and like do the thing.
right, they're like, this is the key.
But in this, they just kind of stay around G. I think they place like some sharp fives and stuff too in some of the instruments too. There's like all this like stuff happening, and it's just like I don't know any other rock group that had a weird vamp in a slightly related key like that. You know?
And the way it comes back to
Mm-hmm.
like the original key is so like fluid. It doesn't even sound like.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it doesn't even sound like a key change really. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, it's
there's
all-
a tonal change.
It's all of the voices kind of like pulling back in. You know? It's
so
so
like
cool.
this it's like this like sort of ascending violin line,
Yeah.
and then it kind of just like it like blooms again.
Yeah. You also have the minor 4 chord, the A minor there,
Mm-hmm.
which is also like In My Life or Boulevard of Broken Dreams,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like the minor 4 chord. But like that's another time where they're borrowing from E minor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, it's like going. It's almost like using the A minor as foreshadowing what's to come, and then it goes back into G, and it's like, oh, this is what was.
Right.
This is what we were leading up to this whole time. That was what was implied.
Right, it's like you thought, but
You thought this was just like a subtlety, but no, we're going in.
and again,
And this one also doesn't resolve, so this one actually ends on A minor.
yeah.
Show me yours.
Which I loved, and I loved the fact that she ended with the lyric, "All the bad dreams that you hide, show me yours," and she didn't say that refrain of "I'll show you mine."
Show me yours, and then A minor,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Ah,
Woo!
God. That was super cool. That was so effective, I feel like, because I feel like she could have easily saying the lyric, "I'll show you mine,"
Yeah,
and like ended on any other chord, And it would have been like, okay, yeah, like that's nice. But like the fact that she did not say
Huge
it.
tension right
Yes.
there. Yeah.
And she's like, oh.
And it's also kind of like, you could interpret it also as this like kind of feminist statement, like, because it's like, show me yours and I'll show you mine. But then at the end of the song, she's like, no, just like, show me yours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have to show you mine, which
Yeah.
I think is kind of cool. I don't think she intended it that way, but
That's interesting.
yeah, but super, super powerful, you know. And then also, like, there's a lot of stuff going on without the song being overbearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a big example of how to develop a song and use a lot of different instruments without ever being super overt about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I like I don't know, just like the melody's beautiful too. Like it's like it kind of has like two main ideas, really, and she kind of
Yeah.
just like develops them.
Yeah, there's also a lot of like recurring chords, like the A to A minor that happens a lot in every
Yeah.
section. She does like the F#7, the dominant 2 chord, a few times.
Yeah, the Elliot Smith chord.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like interesting chords that are just very like discreet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So the ninth song is ICU.
But I feel something when I see you now. I feel something when I see you.
Yeah.
Which is like the letters ICU, but the way she says it, the lyric is I feel something when I see you.
Oh shit! I never realized that. I always thought it was intensive care unit.
Yeah, no, but so I think there's cool implications within
That's
that lyric
cool.
in general because it's like I feel something when I see you.
Wow.
So like that's like a sentence on its own that works. But it's also like I feel so when I look at you, I feel like I have to go to the hospital. You know, or like I feel something with like you make me feel like I need to go to the hospital or something.
That's awesome. I never made that connection before.
And then all the like the non-vocal melodies are super catchy too.
Oh yeah.
Like the start like dun, gun, 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 gun. It feels like a TV show theme song.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
like
Like
but-
we're getting into something.
it's like so catchy. Every time I listen to it, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
Yeah, a lot of relatable lyrics too, for me at least. Like, and I get this feeling whenever I feel good that it'll be the last time, or I don't know what I want until I fuck it up. Those are very relatable.
Deep, yeah. Yeah, all of her lyrics are great. The other point I wrote is like the drums sound kind of like 80s almost on this track.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially the bass drum.
Yeah, or for me it was the snare actually.
Mm.
I think both, but it almost just sounds like they took a drum kit from the 80s or like a drum groove and then just like enhanced it. Like one of those like, oh look at New York photos from the 40s in color.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
they like enhance the photo. For me it kind of sounds like the same thing but the audio equivalent.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
I'm standing too close. I can see.
Yeah, it's like very big sounding
Yeah.
drums, and like the bass drum sounds like, it almost sounds like part synthesized. So like the front of it sounds like an acoustic bass kick, but then like the end of it and like the resonance sounds like some sort of synthesized
Yeah.
kick, which is super cool.
I think the snare reverb is what got me to think that it was like 80s. There was something about the snare. I forgot exactly what it was. Yeah, killing.
Yeah.
Cool. Graceland 2 is the 10th song in the album.
I will do anything. I will do anything. Whatever you want me to do, I will do.
Yeah, this song's interesting.
It's like unexpected. Like we're in folk territory
Totally,
now.
yeah.
Like this is a folk song.
Uh-huh.
But you know, surprisingly,
Banjo and all.
yeah. But surprisingly, this gets stuck in my head a lot for whatever reason.
Oh.
But like, yeah, I mean, the chorus and the verse both get stuck in my head like pretty frequently.
It's
There's also that
charming.
organ break that happens eventually. That's just organ and vocals, which I thought was a really cool
Oh,
touch.
yeah.
And what was left of our serotonin to chew on our cheeks and stare at the moon.
Oh yeah, and then you got the celebrity shot from Boy Genius.
Wait, what?
So yeah, actually at the end, like the last chorus when all of them are singing,
Uh-huh.
that's Boy Genius.
Oh, shit. What?
Which is kind of sick.
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
I didn't realize that. I looked it up because I was curious about it. But yeah, it is them.
Wow.
So they have that chemistry of the band chemistry. You know?
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I feel like it's like kind of like a callback to her roots too.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
That's cool.
Graceland Too. Cool.
Yeah.
The final song of this album is I Know the End. And this is definitely my favorite song on the album.
Yeah.
It's so good, and there's so many cool elements in this song. Like, first, just the progression of it on its own is like
It's like
super
the
killer.
3-minute build up.
This is the longest song in the album. I actually wrote down all the things, and they're all basically 3 or 4 minute song.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's a 5-minute and 45-second song. So like,
Got a lot of build up.
yeah, over that time they just like progress and progress. It's so good.
I think it was a perfect ending for an album released in 2020.
Yeah, but also like it's the end of the album, and
Mm-hmm.
the song is like I know the end. So it's like, oh, this album is coming to the end.
Oh, that's
Like-
true. Yeah.
You know, they got me. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so killing.
I think I know the end too.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, she's like the harbinger of truth. It's like the end is near.
Yeah. and it's like the end is near because, you know, 2020 and the world's on fire, but also the album's ending. The end is near. Like, she's like telling you, like, hey, we're about to go home. You know?
But yeah, and I still like, even though that's like the main sort of refrain in the album, it still ends on like a pretty lighthearted note with like her doing like the screams. Like,
Yeah.
she's just like, and she's like laughing.
Yeah, at the end. And then you just you're chuckling.
So even though like the song is like kind of could be perceived as dismal, it's like still ends on a sort of jovial note.
Well, it's almost like laughing at herself, you know, like not taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Super cool. There's a lot of cool elements in this, like, so there's that, but there's also that part where she says lightning, and then you just hear like this kind of thing.
Big bolt of lightning hanging low.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's all these kind of things.
And like saving like the most dense orchestration for the last song.
Yeah, and also just like throughout the song, it's more dense. Like there's more vocals coming in. There's more instruments. The guitar's going like nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that one key change. It's like in C, I think, the whole time. Or no, it's in D flat towards the end. And then it goes to D flat minor. And then the trumpets are actually going. Which is the first theme from DVD Menu.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
what I was saying at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until like right now, because earlier today I was actually just like learning that. I was like, this is a really cool melody. I'm just gonna learn this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, shit.
and then I was like listening to this and I was like, wait, that's the same thing, but it's a half step up.
Yeah.
So there's like an extra layer of like tension and excitement.
That's cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I was listening to DVD Menu. I'm like, I've heard this like sweeping melody somewhere.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until right now. And then
Yeah.
Phoebe's just like screaming
Yeah.
like throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a perfect ending.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool because she takes like the cool, like she doesn't take no parallel fifth from like classical music. She takes like motivic development and like recurring themes and like orchestrations and stuff like that.
Right.
Which I don't know if that's just her. It's probably her and the producers and stuff like that. But like, yeah, there's a lot of really cool elements that were taken in a really creative way.
Yeah.
Because it still sounds like an indie rock band. It sounds like Phoebe Bridgers. It doesn't sound like anyone else.
Right.
But there's a lot of elements that are taken from other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be interested to like, because I know like Elliot Smith is like one of her huge influences, but I also like be interested to hear like what her other influences are.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen many like interviews where Phoebe talks about like, I know she started music and writing songs when she was like 12, and like would like busk and go to open mics and stuff.
Yeah, and just play like Elliot Smith songs.
Yeah, but I don't know much about her influences other than like Elliot Smith and like I guess the Beatles from that interview you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, great album.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening to all this stuff. And again, if you want to work with us, check out Tearing Out Recordings. Send us a message, send us an email, leave us a comment, something like that. But yeah, thanks. Any words, Sean?
No, I don't think so. I think Yeah.
Yeah, we got through all of it.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say.
But yeah, thanks.